Thing we are going to be using, it was a truck, it's thermal imaging. So you guys can all see me in that picture, right? I should be orange, red, and yellow. Now everything around me is going to be blue and black. Those are our colder areas. So what this is looking for are those colder areas. We're literally looking for cold spots.
Yeah, it runs by heat.
Yeah, so again, I'm looking for those blue and black spots to move on their own. So in the event something starts moving on their own, it's more than likely something else is going on as well. So this is not my most active tool, but we have to have it at the ready. It's already recording. You will get this full video back, and it does record audio. So
I'll do that.
Yeah,
you good with that?
That way you can do the boogie.
Yeah. You're the cameraman, so you're going to hold it horizontal all night. There's a battery pack glued to the back of it. So the red square, you see that on your screen?
Yeah, red
That means
square.
it's recording. If it turns to a circle, let me know. That just means I have to splice some video together for you.
Okay.
So yeah, the camera's going to be on your left, the lower left-hand corner. So you can hold it any way you want to. Just be mindful that it is a cell phone, so it's going to have those outside buttons.
That's why I was trying to make sure where the camera was at.
All right. So let's get into these spirit boxes. You have a lot of questions about them, so you're going to be my spirit box go-to person. So the first one we're going to use is this is kind of like the white noise that they create on TV, right? And then Zach Bagans tells you what he thinks he heard in the middle of it. We're not going to be looking just for disembodied voices tonight. So one of the methods that I use, and I get a lot of activity out of it, is I want the radio chatter to come through. So with that said, this one is slowed down versus the ones on TV. When we're listening to it, it's a matter of you're going to hear song lyrics and DJs and commercials. If we can make out a phrase, it's a 50-50 shot that I can tie it to a building that we're looking at, a person I'm talking about, or even something going on with one of us. You know, I've mentioned several times that it's Justin's birthday. So hopefully something will come up, and it might even be his age. Who knows? I have no idea what's going to happen. So the cool thing about this particular device is that it's going to record the entire session for us. So with this particular device, it's recording everything, no outside noise, even when it's on mute. We get this full recording back. So even right now, it's already recording, even though we can't hear it. So it's not recording me either. So again, this is a matter of listening and seeing what we can come up with once we're ready to use it. So you have one button to worry about on this guy. It's a wheel. It's at the very top. You control the volume. Obviously, on common storage, you want to keep the volume down because it's already recording for us. Correct.
If you want to see, it's
all
pretty
of the
cool.
FM radio stations really, really fast.
See, look.
Yeah.
Like your purse is all dark blue. See, look. My Chase is.
Yeah.
So you're going to be double-fisted because you're getting both spirit boxes, so we can use them together. So I'm trying to get as many devices out as I possibly can. So this one is actually going to give us a word in the center of the screen from time to time. Okay. Then it's going to save all those words to a list. The last group I had 75 terms. I'm going to clear them out. We're going to start you guys off fresh. So you guys have a fresh new list. 80% of this list, pardon the French, but it's all bullshit. This thing is actually meant to be a game and a hoax. So it's the other 5 to 20% that I'll be able to link to the person, the location, or something going on with one of us. Again, it's the game that we're playing with this is what's giving us the word. Is it the app or is it the ghost?
So it says Todd now. Did it hear you say that, or is that something that comes through?
No, it doesn't hear me at all. So you get both of those.
I heard you say Todd to this, and then the word Todd popped up.
I don't think I said the word Tide.
I didn't hear it. No, I seen the time.
Student.
All right, so let's get into lasers. Lasers get Nick in a lot of trouble. I already see the look on your face. So
Don't you point that at me.
you're in charge of the lasers.
Ooh,
What is so cool
that's
about
cool.
lasers is the fact that we can't see the laser from the pen to the ground until something passes through it. You're going to have a camera and an EMF meter. You're going to be taking pictures through the laser. Why? Because we're going to miss it. It's going to go by so fast, you're literally going to take hundreds of pictures for me with the camera I'm going to give you. So this one, actually I'm not going to buy myself, gives us red squares. Why do I want red squares? Because in the event we capture something here, then I can put it in 3D software and we can get a full 3D view of the apparition we caught with measurements. How cool is that? Both lasers go to one pair of hands. Here's the laser chip. Yeah, if it turns to a circle, just tap it again and let me
Okay.
know.
Alright. I didn't mean for that to happen. I mashed the button on the side of my hand. It cut
Simple
the whole
digital
thing
camera.
off.
So point one of your lasers down for me. Well, it's not going to go that fast. Yeah. So you're literally going to be taking pictures through it. I already know what they look like down. I don't need pictures down. I want to go through it. So you're going to stand 2 to 5 feet away from her. She shines one or both lasers at a time, and you're just going to shoot from the hip level, kind of get a nice overview of what's going on. There's no flash. I don't want flash for false positives. So you get both of these devices, so you're double fisted. Last tool. Chase with it? Yes, sir. All right, you're my multitasker. You guys just help me empty the bag, which is good. So, your device is called a millimeter. It does 3 different functions. So the first one you need to know is the big number at the top is the same thing that his device does. Okay, so anything above 2.5 on the big numbers, I get excited about. The bottom number is ambient temperature based on the yellow probe right here.
So if it gets cold or
if he sees something, I want to know where it's coming from so we can debunk it. Last but not least, full demonstration for this. Everybody needs to kind of see how this works. So it is a REM pod built into it. So in any event something gets close to the antenna that I just pulled up, it's going to go off. Does that make sense to everybody? The closer it gets, the higher it's going to go. So again, we don't always use that because it can be annoying on some audio. So I will always say this, I'm going to leave this flap open for you. I'll show you how to open it at our first location and how to turn that piece on. So, you guys got a lot of gear. Questions, comments, concerns so far? Alexa's like, let's do this. This is weird. So, let me tell you about why we started here. And then we'll kind of get rolling. We started here in the building that you guys were probably waiting for me in front of was because it is haunted. That used to be called Big John's back in the day. It burned down as Big John's in 2016, so you guys would have been here. But at any rate, Big John, he was a football player for the 1947 New York Giants. He used to tell the bartender if the cadets coming over from the Citadel, when they were coming over, if they were old enough to drink. One night, 2 guys come in, not old enough to drink. Big John has them kicked out. So they come back the next night and they try to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. Big John sees what's going on. A little bar brawl breaks out. All of a sudden, 2 shots go off, and John gets hit in the neck. The bullet ricochets and goes into the wall. So he gets up and goes back to the bar and he says, "Get me another beer. Go get them guys an ambulance." Now, first off, John's the one that got shot, and he's the one that also got up. Nobody died in that story. So what's haunting the place? The bullet hole. It's allegedly still here. No, it didn't kill anybody. But it was Big John's place. His blood was on the bullet. So I say it's allegedly still here because they're renovating the place as we speak. I don't know if the bullet hole is still going to be there in a month or so whenever they get finished. So I'll have to go back in and check. People that sit in front of the bar get a little queasy, nauseous head. I bring that up on purpose, which is one of the reasons why we started here. It's a great heated warning, because if anybody feels any of those symptoms, I need to know immediately. I have things on me that keep the paranormal activity grounded, which means it keeps us all safe, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that somebody might not get a headache. It's very muggy out. You can put it either way. I will also tell you that this is not a scary tour. I don't say this stuff is scary. I say it as a heated warning because people have passed out from too much activity. Normally when I get psychic on this tour, they don't make it. They just can't handle it. It's too much. So, let's get our minds
when I
off.
heard you say something about a bullet hole in that building when we were over there.
On the wall, the outside of the wall right there, look like one.
Oh yeah, and the side and the outside of the wall. This is on the inside.
It just popped up.
So let's talk about something that's not our own health, shall we? Let's get our minds off of that. So we had a big earthquake here in 1886. If you've taken any type of tour in Charleston, you already know that. This is allegedly where the first event occurred from that earthquake. So apparently the mantle that's in the middle of the building also goes around the front. A piece of that broke off, struck somebody in the back of the head, and killed him. They say you can see his ghost right in the middle of the night on Space Street. I say all of this allegedly without having proof. So it's just a great segue story, so you guys aren't thinking like it's sick. You guys ready to go ghost hunting?
Let's go.
Ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, we'll see how I do with their names. I think I lost a couple of them. Chase and Alexis, Melissa, James, Justin. You get that?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Let me go.
So Justin, you know you're looking for the blue and the black areas, the
Yeah,
the
I'm-
cold areas.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know, I got a little dizzy and this shit jumped up to like 1.8.
Oh, shit.
You hear me? This shit jumped up to 1.8 and I was getting dizzy.
Well, it is kind of humid out. After this, we'll go get something to drink and whatnot. This is cool, though. Y'all wait up. Y'all walking too fast. My fat ass been sitting in a truck all day.
Alright, gather around, y'all. Show you what's going on in this joint. So I want you guys to think of your entire time with it as kind of like a lesson in do something. So this is level 1. Alright, this is going to be very easy. First and foremost, this is the big red barn lot. This is where we keep the horses for carriage rides. The horses can hear us inside those windows. So absolutely no lasers. And your spirit boxes, or the spirit box that we have out that's noisy, you want to keep it low if you're going to be near those windows. We don't want to spook those horses. This place is very simple. The history I have, this is where we kept the horses that delivered milk and eggs to the residents of the city of Charleston. That's all I got. So let's talk about spirit boxes. This is not TV. This is not, is somebody here? Because if somebody says no, guess what? Somebody's here. They answered you. We're going to stay away from yes and no questions all night long. This is the easiest way. So, for example, we're going to start off with something simple, something you already know the answer to. And you guys can work together. I don't know what the dynamic is with everybody, but you two have stayed next to each other the whole time. So, again, I don't know the dynamic. So, if somebody's here, tell me what color the barn is. Obviously, it's the color red. So you're going to be watching and listening for the color red, but they might not be able to find that word red out of a DJ or song lyric or commercial, right? Mm-hmm. So they're going to give you something that is specifically red. Fire truck, blood, heart. Any of those things that I just told you are specifically red. You can't mistake it. So you can't say, you know, Chase's shirt is red. You know what I mean? Because a shirt can be any color, right? But blood, heart, and fire truck, like those three are definitely red. In the event you don't get an answer, you're going to go with something along the lines of what's inside the barn. That's going to open it up. So now we have horses. They're delivery horses. They're draft horses. That's their breed. And they also deliver milk and eggs. So I'm not going to count anything that just says Charleston, because you're listening to Charleston location. So
That's it.
It says like protein, calcium, ingredients, and eggs and milk. That's a big deal. Dairy. You know, obviously, that's those are both dairy products. This is about putting the foods together. So again, and you can use those in conjunction with one another. So you can listen to the one and watch the other, and you never know where the answer is going to go. We can also keep in mind too that we have 2 other audio pieces that the answers can go to for disembodied voices. We have Justin's camera and my audio. So if Alexis is asking questions and she's not getting anything, it's still a good point to listen to those areas when we're going through that. So I think the thermal imaging is really the only thing I need to like work. Oh, I need to go with the millimeter too. So if the 2 of you want to just do a quick lap, kind of get used to listening to that, ask a few questions, something you know the answer to, like what I gave you, and see what happens. I'm going to show Justin a few things on the thermal, and then I'm going to catch up.
A quick lap, meaning walking?
Around this parking lot. You guys are going to find that I love lots because these are places that once were, for one, and second, we get to explore them. So again, there's a couple of lots that I like to go to just because of we get to spread out and really dive into the investigation. We're not going to spend a ton of time here because there's not a long history here. This is just for me to show you guys a little bit more about your devices.
Do you care if I ask the most inappropriate questions?
As long as they're not yes or no, I don't give a damn. And if I
I'm
know
just
what the
making
questions
sure.
are,
I don't want to ruin it.
no. So if you're getting answers from that,
Yeah.
I want to know what the questions are.
Yeah.
But here's what I will tell you: don't poke the bear.
Yeah, I know.
So again, every place I take people to, because this is a family-friendly event. So with that said, every place we go to, there's no true dark energies or any dark malevolent spirits hanging about. So every place we go to is a respect because of the history. This is a simple one just because we're talking about the horses. Not to mention, we could be getting something from Big John's teammate. If you hear a double-digit number, it could be a jersey number. So if I get the first name along with the jersey number, confirmed evidence. Let's see what else you get out of that. You can also use that to kind of continue the conversation. It might be part of the 80%. I don't know. So we kind of have to go along with, something a little bit further other than my son. So take a quick lap, see what you guys come up with. Justin, we're going to make this nice and simple for you. Point your camera at the wall for me and watch it bleed out. See how it all went to one color?
Yeah, it's like just red.
Right.
I mean, it's at 80.
Keep it there. Did the wall turn blue?
Yeah.
You want to try to keep somebody in view at all times.
Serious?
Okay.
The reason
So-
why is because then we get an array of color.
Gotcha.
We're obviously going to be 97 to 99 degrees.
Yes, that's we're
We're
supposed
going
to
to be
be.
the hottest things out here.
Hey,
Yeah.
So we want
This
to
thing's going buck wild right here. Like crazy wild. I mean, it's bouncing.
So my first question, like I'm seeing it like bounce to red a little bit, and I'm counting in my head as I'm watching it. So I see a small interval there, and if it was coming from the building,
Yeah, because once I come here,
if it was coming from the building, it would turn solid
Wait,
red
I'm
as you
gonna-
went across,
right.
because it's already bouncing into the red.
I have to
If
be
it was
close
a cell
up to
phone or
him.
something along those lines, it would literally have to be touching
I
it
mean,
in order for it to go
see,
up that red.
you see the
There's
red?
something going on.
Everything will be red, so
It might be.
I gotta
gotcha.
keep it with somebody in front of me, so the rest is
And we're
blue.
staying on top of the sewer line.
See, look.
There's no electrical
See,
line
come with me?
anywhere near us.
Okay, I
So,
gotcha.
again,
See,
another
you
reason
gotta
why I
keep
like to
someone in
keep
front of you. That
Yeah.
way, everything else stays blue,
of what's
and
going
you'll
on.
see something just move.
So,
Okay.
you guys have
They'll
the
be
gist of what
dark.
to do with those lasers. So the lasers, again, you want to keep them down on the ground, and they're also strong enough to set off car alarms.
Oh, wow.
I
So don't
like
aim
to
them
run
at-
with groups. Somebody gets left behind. So you want to definitely
There's
keep
somebody's
them off of
dogs.
vehicles, off this building, off any building. You want to always start on the ground and maybe take a step back and just kind of see like what he can capture.
There's
going
two dogs
forward.
coming.
So he's obsessed with this EMF though. I can see that already.
Cool.
So, all right,
Hey.
catch up with that millimeter.
Where'd they go?
Yeah, see now just stop.
So first thing we're going to do is turn the temperature off. Just want to get it kind of, because you already seen the big numbers in the peak times. So now what's going to happen is all the battery juice is going to go into the EMF converter, so that way you'll see the watt quickness. As far as the, go ahead and take that.
I'm like, it's not like that. Like, I don't know. What if it
Turn the
goes
device
forward?
around, all the way to the back. Nope, to the back, where the black goes.
The last one was my
Two
son,
white
and it
buttons.
stayed on.
One
I was trying to ask
closest
what's
to
your
the
son's name, and it stayed on my son forever. And it just went away.
Black
He just said it was
Now your REM pod is on. So in the event it starts going wrong, what I want you to kind of picture, like there's basically a EMF around.
It's a way
Right?
to that.
So you can kind of keep it reset it or wait to see what happens.
What
If
is
it's
his
going all
name?
over, you can't get it to stop. There's a reset button on the right hand side. It's the last button on the right hand side, right down here. So it's the very bottom button. So you just kind of hold that in and you wait. If it gets wonky like this, you want it to go back up. Like here. If it starts to go like that again, you definitely have to go back. So again, at times I'll say let's go ahead and turn the spirit box and the REM pod down. I don't want to pair you guys up together, and that way you guys know how to turn it off. Have you heard anything yet?
I did ask where you live, but then I definitely heard. It sounded like the radio said Ashland phosphate. I don't think no goes to traveling from Ashland phosphate to come talk to me. But I am on a lead right now. It said my son for a long time. Then it said boy, and now it's inner. And I was trying to ask about the barn too. I was like, what's in the barn? We asked I said where did your son go to school? I was trying to ask questions about his son.
Okay, son's name.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to learn some real history now? Now that
Yeah.
you guys have a little bit more tactic?
Yeah.
All right, come on, James.
I'll go forward so I can get you. No poking me in the back. Get.
I ain't poking you in the
Yeah.
back. I'm trying to find fellas.
I gotta see y'all in front of me. That way I can see if I see something. Gotta keep bodies in front of me. That's how it works.
I'm talking about that earlier.
What happened?
I got 5.1.
Hey,
The hell's that
you heard that
noise?
right? Big time. There's one buck wild. Look at that. this shit. And then digging my face.
Alright, so, keep it weight. Trying to centralize it. Alright, so, welcome to the Pinckney Mansion site. A couple of things in here. First off, that's the only way in and out to do the way we just came in for vehicles. So we're going to be mindful of vehicles coming in and out. They like to fly to try to find a parking spot. Sunday night, I don't see it being a big problem. So lasers, we already talked about those on vehicles. Justin.
Yip yippers.
People are a little funny about their vehicles being filmed.
I'm not filming
See
cameras.
somebody coming through, you're just going to be standardly holding a cell phone.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on y'all. I'm not doing anything else. Just keeping it
Yeah,
on.
saying
People,
somebody might
yeah,
say
people
something.
get weird.
I know.
So
I know how it
let me tell
is.
you what this place is. This is the Eliza and Charles Pinckney Mansion site. So, who the heck were Eliza and Charles Pinckney? They had a son named Charles and had a nephew named Charles. The son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. It's a pretty big deal for us, and nobody talks about this place because obviously there's nothing to see. It's an empty lot. However, I hate politics, and I don't think anybody wants to talk politics with me. So we're going to move on to Eliza. Eliza's way cooler anyway. So, Eliza Pinckney married Charles at a young age. This is not a place where I'm going to give you answers like what color of George Washington's white horse kind of mentality. You're going to have to get the answers from your boxes. So if you guys want to know the answers to these questions, you're all going to be hovering around Alexis. So, I will tell you that Charles was over double her age when they got married. That kind of gives you a it's not.
Because arrangement popped up, and now it's on objection.
Might want to shut that off for a second. That's the little white button in the back. Alright, so she married Charles because her father, over in England, thought he was dying. He wanted to see all of his kids one last time. She didn't want to go, so she got married. This is the 1740s. There's no such thing as citizenship yet. So she puts her foot down, she gets married, and lo and behold, she's right. Her dad doesn't die yet. So what's he do? He starts sending over wedding gifts. One of those gifts happens to be the plant indigo. You guys live here, you know indigo is very prominent here in Charleston. So she's the one who started it, but what people really don't know about this is that she had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep the indigo cultivated. They came from the Villa tribes, which means you guys know they came straight from Africa. They're basically farmers. So she learned from them how to experiment with it here, basically right where we're standing, based on the plot of land of the map that I have. And then she moved it over to Sneed Farm in Mount Pleasant and called her dad up and said, hey, I got this plant. I need to start selling it. I need some contacts. She's selling this stuff overseas now. So indigo is a big deal for Charleston because it took over when the rice plantation started to go downhill. So this kind of swooped right in and saved the day. So it's a really big deal. I'm giving you just enough. You got
That
something?
farm.
That farm? Nice. So you get SNE on there. I'll be super impressed. It's not that usually that specific.
The last one was another station.
I'll take a look at your list here after I get wrapped up. So, where was I? Oh, so Eliza, again, has done tons of stuff for, obviously, the colonies in the United States, but there's a lot of weird facts that go around the spirit box. So, Eliza was the second wife named Eliza for Charles. Both Elizas go by their maiden name that start with the letter L. That's all I'm going to give you.
With the letter
L, as in love, but it's not love. Just giving you that clue. Let's see, what else? You can ask anything you want to about her death. How old she was, what did she die from, where did she die, where is she buried, and what president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So usually people go after that one first because they really want to know the answer to that. That's an interesting question because then we'll see what pops up with that. You can obviously ask what happened to the mansion that's not standing here anymore. If you're going to ask anything about the kids, you want to kind of tread lightly because there's a tragedy. If you start poking around with those kids too much, all activity will stop.
Don't
You're
do
gonna ruin
that.
Justin's birthday.
Don't do that. Just ask about the building.
Funny you say that because the thing was going off just now.
Yep.
And then it just went down the hill.
So if you're going to ask anything about her children, just stick to numbers. How many boys, how many girls, maybe get names. But everything else, her death, things about Charles. But again, look for things I can prove. So don't ask, how did you feel about Charles? I can't prove that she loved him. You know what I'm saying? I can prove on her wedding date. I can prove her birthday. I can prove anything else that deals with numbers and facts. How she felt are things I can't prove. So, this is definitely a loud and proud with the Spirit Box, so you can definitely turn it up a little bit here. Your REM pod, Chase, definitely be using that here and watching those numbers so she knows when to stop to ask questions. You guys can do lots of pictures in here. Just, again, be mindful of the vehicles.
Go ahead, ask some questions.
Alright, here.
You got to ask the questions.
What was the good question you wanted to ask?
You want me to aim this like at that,
Oh,
or
you turn a flashlight on. Hang on. You're gonna be
you got me in the eye, man. I'm gonna get you
How
back.
many female children did you have?
So what happens is that I usually give this to females because they're lighter steppers than us. So every time you kind of jostle a little bit, it's giving a little bit of a jerk. So just take a step to the left, just to prove a point. And then take a step to the right. And should jostle again. Okay. So it did. So the big number and what's going on here, two separate things. They don't tie in together. Just because this is going off doesn't mean it's going to measure something here and vice versa. So they are two separate EMFs. And with you guys also being all of one party, feel free to intermingle the devices. So everything's been sanitized. You guys are all family, so I'm assuming so. So again, feel free to
Yeah, I would
intermingle.
ask.
Just let me know who gets what. But I would definitely be walking around with that, kind of seeing what you can get out of it.
How's that work again? If something,
So if something passes through it, so if he captures a picture right here,
it'd be like,
right. Double fisted. But like I said, I wouldn't get no interaction.
that's cool. He did that on purpose.
He knows I'm out here every night.
He did it on purpose. Oh, wait.
Got a lot going on there. I'll put that on. You can use it as So you want to see some proof of things I caught with that? So you know what what you're looking for?
Figure like really dark spots. I mean, I'm trying to keep it, focused around everybody and not on anything else. Because like you said, everything turns red because it does.
It'll blur itself out.
Yeah.
So this actually took place here. Bring it up. It was actually up in that corner right there. So obviously that orange is the wall. See the two living heads walking past the orange? Did you see them?
Yeah.
So we're going to fast forward and find the two dead heads going the opposite way. They're going to go right about there in the center.
I see it.
So notice how somebody was always in view? It should have
Yeah.
been the same color, and they weren't. That's probably the best piece of evidence I caught with that camera. I mean, I have other pieces, I just haven't clipped them out yet.
That's cool.
A lot of people like to know what the hell they're looking for. That's what I mean when it's moving intelligently on its own.
Yeah, I figured it'd be something, move. That's why I was trying to walk around, everybody. You never know, everybody's messing with everything else, too. Like, I've been over there with them, and you gotta do the lights. Do your lights. Wherever James gets a signal.
Right here.
Do both of them, right? Do both, Mama.
Yeah.
You got both.
Yeah, do the red and the blue.
No, you use both.
Oh, it's loving the red. It's digging the red.
It's digging the red.
Right now. Like crazy ballistic.
What you said, that's what move away.
Move away. Move away.
that?
I wasn't. I was looking at the
It
camera.
was all in the red, and he said, "Would you please move away?" And then the red went away like
Are you
it
back?
moved.
Are you back to hang out? I'm back.
Don't do that.
Oh, I'm getting shivers. I'm getting shivers. Oh, yeah. That was weird.
He asked me to come back, and then the red light started
You
going
saw
on.
the red light going off, and then I dag on it's going off, and then I get cold chills. That's crazy. All right, check it out. It was going ballistic, right? So we told it to step away, to step back. So it did.
She had the red light on.
And then I said, please come back to me. And then it started going off, and I got cold chills, like shivers.
Yeah. It happens all the time. I normally don't put, like, Alexis asked me if I'm a psychic or a medium. I don't claim to be. We all have that extra sense, we just don't use it. So when somebody tells me they're getting chills, I have to believe them. I don't put, like, if I'm getting,
Be like
if I get,
goosebumps.
you know, a little weird, I just tell you guys that I need a
I
minute,
can
I need
hit
a
on the
break.
next stand up.
That goosebumpies.
Well, I have
That's a
that one.
goose.
So something's going to be attaching.
I'm gonna go over here to them. Give me a second. Y'all stay still. All right.
What kind of pain did you suffer when you passed away?
James got shivers.
Her name's Elijah, right?
I think so.
We both forgot. That's probably why she's not taking us seriously. She's probably these fucking people.
Hey,
Elijah.
what's her name again? Elijah?
Eliza.
Eliza.
Elijah. Are you there? What did you die from?
Sorry.
You good? Okay.
You
I would
said-
tell you that
you-
corner up there is a hot spot too. If you guys want to head up there.
And you said you'll send us like the footage of this and whatnot afterwards. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because I may miss. Because I am blind in one eye, so I can only concentrate on
Well,
one
the cool
thing.
thing is-
I mean, I will be aiming it at them, but I may be looking at what they're doing. You know.
With this, I don't expect people to find things in real time. That's
Yeah.
why you guys review it later. So, I mean, I go through it pretty quickly to see if anything looks weird or out of place in some of our hot spots like this
Yeah.
one. But, I mean, I only review it for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I do the same thing about 30 minutes on the Spirit Box. I don't listen to this regular audio at all because I already have the stories memorized. I don't need the references. And as far as the pictures, those I do go through every one. So
I
if something
gotcha.
does pop up there, it's a definitive.
No problem. No
Yeah,
problem.
you guys get quite a bit out of me. I only go through everything. It takes me about 2 hours, but you guys are recording like 7 hours worth of data time. So you're gonna have a lot to go through with links.
Let me get this side.
Watch, they're probably on their car. Let's come over this way.
Yeah. Sorry.
Ask her this ground. Ask her what she growing this ground.
Eliza, what did you grow on this ground?
Y'all gotta stay still so I can. When you ask the question.
Eliza, who helped you grow your plants? Wait a second.
Y'all do y'all's thing again.
Are you picking up anything, Justin?
Well, it's hard. I'm blind in one eye, so I can only concentrate. I got the camera on you, you know, but I'm trying to watch y'all.
Eliza, come closer. Come in the light. Come in the green light.
Every time word, it's part of the app.
Oh man, can we wait a second? That's just interfering with this.
Yeah, she's back.
It is.
You want to throw one?
It looks dark right there. Yeah.
Well, it's all hold up red.
No, I'm saying it looked dark. Where you at? You know. Try to get the other side. I'm trying to get even, you know. He says he's gonna give us all this, so he said I told him, you know, I may not be able to see it because I'm trying to concentrate on y'all. You know, I'm blind in one eye, so
Blue spots over top of the red.
it would be. You see how black that is?
Yeah.
You will see something move like an actual person moving it, but it'd be black.
Oh.
Like, but I gotta keep it on y'all. See, look, if I do this, look,
Put
it
on
turns
James,
red. See?
Because he's talking to it.
Yeah, that's why I gotta keep it on James. I've been keeping it on them too because they've been asking a lot of questions. You gotta use your laser though.
Yeah, but watch this. James will say, move away, and it moves away.
You see that in the back? People walking. See, they're
Yeah.
red, right? If it's that, but it'll be black. It'll be black though.
Let's take a picture, Eliza. Are you by yourself, or is anyone else here with you? Let them come forward too.
Stay still. Let me get this side. He said a lot of times I won't be able, you know, might not be able to catch it right off bat, but he'll pull it up for us.
Justin, I'm pretty sure I heard your name on the spirit box.
Well, James had some stuff going on with that thing, James and Mama.
This has been going crazy.
The little box said Justin.
All right, so let me get you the answers to those questions. Again, let's step away from the vehicle.
I'm trying to, you know, get everybody little by little.
Eliza was 22 when she got married to Charles, who was 45. So there's your answer for those. The one that planted all the indigo was Eliza Lucas Pinckney. The first wife was Eliza Lamb. So Lamb and Lucas were the names we were looking for there. You did get 20th. So her birthday is December 28th. So I was waiting to see if the number 8 or the number 2 was going to show up on the red spirit box. You have 20th. So 22 is when she got married, 28th is her birthday. So again, it's a matter of what is she trying to tell us. Eliza died at the age of 70 from breast cancer in 1793 while she was in Philadelphia, which is where she's buried. Now, 1793, there's no such thing as breast cancer. We're going based off of her medical records. So you asking her how she died, pain, she didn't know what breast cancer was. However, I have gotten the word cancer here several times. So again, she may have learned over the years of being dead what cancer actually was. There were 4 children. Did you ask anything about that?
Yeah.
4 kids, 3 boys, 1 girl. So the names of those children obviously are Charles. So we have Thomas, infant George that did not make it past infancy, and the body was lost. There's no headstone for this child. So, and then there was 1 daughter, Harriet. So let's go back to George for a second. because I can tell you, just like there was 3 Charleses, there's 3 Georges. So we have baby George, who was named after Eliza's father. And with her maiden name being Lucas, that makes her dad George Lucas. So that's an easy way to remember that one.
That's cool.
It is. However, there's one more George. George Washington, Paul Bear at her funeral. That's pretty crazy stuff. Now, normally we'll get the word like, okay, George Washington, but I don't get the word Cherry, Apple, Martha. These are all terms that relate to George Washington. George Washington. So again, based on those kind of words and clues, that's where I get that information. Let's see what else. The mansion burned down right where we're standing. So if you get anything related to fire, smoke, cloud, black, anything along those lines, it actually happened in the Great Fire of 1861. So every tour guide talks about some kind of great fire. This one just happened to go from Peninsula Coast to Peninsula Coast. The building was just in the way. So it didn't, the whole thing didn't burn down, it was just a piece of it. So, any other questions that you've asked or maybe you asked where, you know, it was on the plan, or you asked about what was road here on the plan. Oh yeah, we did get the word plant. So, that's
And then that thing, like you said, till the medical guns, those all seem like they go back to that.
were they here or were they at the Red Barn?
That was at the Red Barn, but I didn't know. Yes.
So
So
we
now I
got the
know
word
that
thermal and
he
mechanical.
has the thermal, so maybe if you wanted to take that.
No, he
He's
has
got the thermal.
Yeah.
I'm right behind you.
So it did say thermal. So we're going to see if there's anything on the same timestamp as when it said to go to thermal. Sometimes it will say camera or picture. So just depending on what we're looking at. I've had things match up where it says picture, and I go to the pictures, and that's where the anomaly is. So it's aligned with the same timestamp. So I see what Good. Good. All right, so from here, we're going to go up to Lodge Alley. It's another kind of location. So it's about 4 blocks from here.
Cool.
So absolutely no lasers on East Bay Street, too many cars. Your EMF and your numbers, the big numbers, are going to go crazy because of the parking meters. You can pretty
Okay.
much ignore the pretty lights and the red numbers.
Did you want to stop this then?
Nope. Nope, we're going to keep it going.
Okay.
It's hard to splice video.
I got you.
So, what happened?
She didn't realize she
I was
turned
zipping
it
up
down.
my pocketbook where he got cigarettes out.
Oh, she flashing everybody with lights. She flashing everybody. Like,
Well, the
woo.
video wasn't running, whatever was going on. Alright, so, I think we're about good to go for Lodge Alley. Once you
Yep,
get
boss.
there, it is a quiet space, so you will have to definitely turn your spirit box down. And we're going to get some pictures before we go in. Nice and still, because there's no flash. If you move it around, you make it blurry. So before we all walk down. So, let's go up to the Lodge Alley.
Must be the money. Don't fall down that. Yeah, don't. Yeah, watch your steps. Big belly, big belly.
The name just came to me. Simple name.
Rudy toot toot.
I can't remember the guy's name. Do you remember the mob guy that Nana worked for that got blowed up in the car?
I don't remember. I just know it was a mob guy. Yeah, she actually worked in the restaurant for him.
No, it was his store.
Or whatever it was. She went and she was supposed to get numbers for him, right? She would get a paper and go give it to the other guys. Somebody blew that dude up. Somebody got blowed up.
We got a jazz bar and rooftop. Yeah, I'd like to walk
Yep.
I made it there before.
And dudes don't like me no more because I quit. They were upset. Well, they told me if I ever wanted to come back, I can. The boss was. You okay?
Yeah, I just
Yes.
Yeah, right in the back. So
Yeah,
we don't want to see you go. So hang out right here.
So, my grandmother worked in Youngstown for the Naples, Jimmy and Billy Naples. So they had a store. They used to run numbers out the back of the store.
Yeah.
One of them got blowed up, car bomb. Well, when she was
Youngstown car
working
bomb?
for him.
Yep.
Yep. So I was all, I'm a history buff when I,
So do you remember what side of town? Do you know of Youngstown? West side?
where Rand was. We lived wherever, because I
Rand
went to
was on it.
Harding. I went to Harding Elementary, which was, I could walk to the school from my house.
Well, Harding was on the south side.
All right, that's where we lived.
Okay, so I grew up on the west side.
When I grew up, now they moved around. I mean, before me, but
I'm trying to think of the name of that little store that my grandparents, both my parents, like they was right down the street from us, but it was a place where you can go buy numbers behind the store.
and I don't know where she lived at then, because they like I said, they moved around.
Put a whole bunch in it now.
They didn't. They rented. They never owned a house up there. So
Yeah, I grew up on the west side. Both houses we lived in were on the west side. Where's Alexis? Where'd she go?
Oh, she ran to something.
Okay.
but yeah,
Small world, huh?
I just I saw it on TV. I saw like one of the mob stories on like A&E or something, and it had that one about
That particular story.
yeah. I thought it was really neat. I know we were at my Aunt Kay's house in Akron visiting, and we moved out here when I was 7, so I was small. I don't remember a lot, but we would go up to the bar and I would play pinball machines,
Okay.
and they would drink.
I lived in Akron for a short time. I was in my 20s.
I remember
Stayed there
walking
long.
back to their house. I mean, it's nighttime, so we walked to the bar. I just remember walking back to the house, and it was like gunshots, and it was like we had to hide behind the building.
Oh, in Barberton then. Barberton area.
And this would have been early 70s.
Yeah. Barberton and Rolling Acres area. Like, those are both pretty rough neighborhoods. I was running a music store in Akron when I lived there. So I was in Rolling Acres at the store, and that's how I know that it's a rough area. But I was living in... I can't remember the name of the city. I lived in a decent part, but I worked in a bad part.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, I was living alone. Did you want something?
Yeah. No, we went and stayed at Clinton Bay for a week one year.
That was cool. That was a little island. Everybody drives golf carts and little mopeds and stuff.
I've been to Cedar Point a couple times.
My wife and I were just, because my wife is from Pittsburgh, and we just watched some Netflix documentary on SeaWorld.
Oh yeah, I remember SeaWorld up there. We went all the time.
Cuyahoga. Yeah. And we went all the time too, but half the story behind it is pretty sad.
Yeah, it is.
So that was interesting to watch, because I mean we both, I mean she even used to go up there as a kid. We probably crossed paths when we were kids and never knew it.
Yeah, we always like watching these ghost shows and whatnot on TV and whatnot. They're always fun to watch. We actually had some stuff happen to us at both houses, at Nana's house and definitely at our house. We'd be watching TV, volume starts cutting up all the way up.
TV cuts off and on by itself.
The
change
radio
channels.
would cut on. The door actually shut in front of me and my brother. We had a big wooden door in the front room. We're sitting there just watching cartoons. That thing shuts and locks. We run out of the room. We were scared. We had all kind of freaky stuff happening. You would just hear things in the middle of the night and stuff. And so we had to get our pastor to come and, like, you know, pray for the house.
Sure.
Where'd Chase go?
He's over there.
He's up here. Oh, you're up. I'm like, what am I still holding this for?
Yeah, we had all kind of freaky stuff happen. I'll get a drink later. He did?
Yeah, he had us again.
They don't normally hang around this part because the cops normally, you know, get them. They try to keep them off this area. The homeless and whatnot. I just cigarettes.
Oh, the Jameson on the inside.
Your purse look like easy pickings. He said it'll be a little more active because of the the parking meters. So most of these are the original buildings from way back in the day, so who knows what's happened in these places.
Well, are they that? Is that a hotel? It said level. That's a hotel. Depression? Is that what this was?
Yeah.
So we go 2 weeks on, 2 weeks
Down
off.
the alley.
Come on, nice and clean. We're really just looking for lighter anomalies. We need to talk it into any of them.
Oh, okay.
They're hearing
But I'm over here like putting it up to my face.
Y'all don't laugh if I trip. People out there.
Have it.
I like your sparkly sun cake, sir.
I don't need to change the face.
Yeah, be careful. This ain't easy to walk on.
This is just a brief stop. So when we crossed that last crosswalk, we crossed into the original Charlestown Vault. So this obviously, just like James said, this would have been one of our first streets. So people used to live here. I normally get some names. So I normally get Benjamin and John. I do have the full list of residents of every person that's ever lived here, along with their occupation. So again, but this is a very interesting place because do you know why it's named Lodge Alley?
Is this? What is this?
This is Lodge Alley Inn, so that's a hotel. That's their courtyard over there.
Y'all
This
walk
is-
over there.
This is actually
Walk over
Lodge
there.
Alley because this is
Oh,
where
yeah.
one of the first Freemason lodges was. So we get the word Mason that shows up here all the time. So again, this place is interesting just because these people were lower class. I'm standing on somebody's stoop right now. So there weren't many houses. There were little tiny shotgun houses. They were lower class. The smell of low tide would have been coming in all the time. They did do an archaeological dig in between the bricks, found some of the tools and silverware. really cool stuff, some fire stuff. You can see the fire evidence underneath the bricks, all kinds of mess. So again, we kind of see what comes out of this. What happens from here is we're going to walk through the rest of the alley, but we're going to be in a neighborhood. So it's definitely a no laser and no loud spirit box zone. Tour guides aren't allowed to be tour guides in neighborhoods, just so you guys know. So we're going to move quickly to our next spot. With that said, also, we're going to be getting into some of the legends and lore. So it's a few stories on that corner. I'm going to go probably based off of whatever Alexis has on our word list, because there's so many stories on that corner. I'm letting the data tell me what to tell. And then we're going to do one big final investigation at the Powder Magazine. We're going to look into a kick-ass female pirate there, and hopefully she'll come through for me like she did the other night. So let's go learn about some weird legends that you guys should hopefully already know. And if you don't,
and when we walked past the front of that hotel, it said level, and then it said like what level.
Oh my god. Jesse texts me happy birthday, old ass.
What is your name?
Ooh, can't see where I'm. Oh shit.
What is the name of the street? What is this now?
I'm behind you, go ahead. Huh. Speedsters.
That thing says warm right now.
It does.
But you're supposed to be looking at cold stuff, right?
Yeah. It would be pitch like
You
black.
get like a blue thing or
Yeah, it'd be
black
like black. Well, see, look.
That's what it says.
Dissolve.
Now.
Some of them,
I think I've seen a few things when we were back in that big area.
anybody here with us? What is your name?
Just it was hard to
I know
tell.
we're walking past.
Well, yeah.
But they walk too damn fast.
What is your name? Pudding tea. That's what it says.
Pudding thing.
I'm just joking.
Bucktooth McGee.
Don't let her make fun of you.
So,
Pull her extension.
how old were you when you lost your virginity? Probably
Y'all messing with the wrong stuff there. Eh. Yeah, we got us walking all the way down. Good stop.
Alright, so this is the more popular area. Let me take a look at the word list. Let me see what we're doing.
Holy shit.
We just did a marathon.
I'm just kidding. Oh.
Is that large alley? The German thing?
You know, I didn't even, that must have been when
Yeah,
he
I
was
was in front of
holding
Mac's place. I was talking to her in front of Mac's place.
Max is obviously very natural.
I asked I asked, what do you want us to do here? And it said, use establishment. And it said German, and then it said overwhelmed.
I don't see anything that's kind of steering me in the right direction, so I'll just kind of go off the normal spiel. So, you guys noticed Philadelphia Alley that we passed up, right? So, if you guys notice and you look behind you, that wall back there is Philadelphia Alley, and that gateway that's right there, the whole reason it's there is because it used to be Duelers Alley. So the loser of the duel, take him off, bring him over to this courtyard, and then drop him off at the cemetery so they can go celebrate the winner. That's why that gate is still there. So that's from Marcus Duelers Alley. So a lot of people don't know that little fun known fact about Charleston. You guys know the story of the whistling doctor down there? It's a pretty common
I
one.
think I've heard that, yeah. On some ghost tours.
So most, you don't go down there. Oh, I used to get my tours down there, but it's residential. Like I already told you, we're not supposed to be down there. I got caught. So, with my noisy groups. So the story is pretty simple. So, over there it says workout detective. My wife says, you're walking too fast. So, we all tell the story of one specific duel because I get a lot of evidence out of it. So, the whistling doctor, that's the story we got. So, he comes down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Latin. Notice I always slow down on certain keywords, specifically to have spirit boxes. The doctor, he moves here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancee Amanda. And it just inherited a bunch of money from their parents. The attorney was handling that money to send the doctor away. I think he's just after money. So the doctor moves here. The coachman that brings him into town sent him up to be blocking killed. He's a doctor. He looks like he's dressed and got some money. So this coachman, he set him up. Somebody walking by sees what's happening and stops the whole operation and says, let me take you somewhere safe. He takes him to 59 Church Street, which is this way. So the two become friends. That guy who saved him, his name is Ralph Isaacs. Keep in mind, he has the same initials of where the doctor came from. Ralph Isaacs, Rhode Island. So RI shows up here all once. I never know which one it is until I get another clue. So two become friends, but the doctor, he's moving up in society. So he makes lots of money. He becomes known as the whistling doctor because Amanda's moving down soon. So they used to go see plays together, but they couldn't sit next to each other because the doctor made more money. The hierarchy says you get better seats. So they talk about this play on the way home. I feel like I'm excluding Justin, but I know you.
I'm listening.
So they talk about this play on the way home. The doctor loves the new actresses in town. Ralph doesn't. They start arguing. Then it becomes an insult party on the fiance Amanda back home. So they obviously kiss each other. They go their separate ways. Ralph, being from here, calls his newspaper friends and says, let me put an ad in the paper. We're going to tell the city what a disgrace this doctor is to the city of Charleston. Obviously, the doctor sees the ad. He rebuttals with, let's go to Duelers Alley. We're going to settle this. Somebody's probably going to die, right? They come down, they take each other's cases, they turn. The doctor points his gun in the air and he shoots. He did not want to kill his friend. However, Ralph has his one shot and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Because he didn't die either, which means he didn't come through the death gate. He actually got picked up and carried home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later. Probably pretty so during his time. So they say as you walk through the alley, you can hear the whistles from the doctor. At times, when I'm telling the story, things related to it will show up on the spirit box, but I always listen specifically to the red one during this time frame because I get things like medicine, doctor, Joseph. I had the word Brown show up. The guy's name is Joseph Brown Ladd. That showed up for me last week. I'm like, you can't make this stuff up. It just shows up. And it's weird, but you'll hear a little bit of whistling coming from the radio station when I'm telling the story. So in this time frame, somebody will whistle. So again, it's about the whistling doctor. There's a lot of stories here. So I kind of pointed out that brick building on the corner to James along our way. That place used to be called Bocce. You guys might even remember it. I can't remember when it
There's a
closed.
Japanese restaurant?
No, it's Italian. So that place is completely haunted. The doors don't stay shut or locked. Things like to fall off the walls. Mirrors like to fall and not break. So if I actually open up a shop, that's a place we're actually looking at. Because what we'll do is we'll sell ghost hunting equipment, focus on the paranormal, and rent the upstairs out as a hotel, but everybody will get ghost hunting equipment. So that's kind of the mentality that we're going at. So we have a couple of ideas. The first one we have is going to cost way too much. We want to rebuild the Pinckney Mansion site, and that would be our store shop and and kind of bring back a little bit of the history of Charleston. The other place would be Bocce's. That's another one we're looking at. And then I'm looking at the old house. I think it's the Mark Truck building at the end of the building. So it's still close enough to the market where I can look at it. There's just no hotel above it. So we're kind of looking at a few things. So that's like a 3 to 5 year plan for us once the tours really take off. What do you got, English? No.
And like when you started talking about that, I kind of laughed because I
Shut
was
up already.
yeah, I was like I was wondering.
Every ghost tour goes up to the cemetery to talk about the sign. You guys know about the sign up there? It says there's no ghost in St. Philip's besides the Holy Ghost.
No.
There's a reason for it. In 1888, a young lady died 6 days after her stillborn child. Her name is Sue
Is that
Howard
the one
Harding.
the picture was taken?
Yes.
Okay. I've seen that, but I haven't seen it.
So what happens with this is that a local photographer in 1987, on the exact anniversary date of that death, takes a picture, full apparition, baby basket next to her, over that grave. Now, of course, the guy with me, this stuff is bold, like it's proof. Females that hold it, they're not going to feel well. They're going to have the same symptoms I told you about back in St. John's. Pregnant females that hold it, not going to have a good pregnancy. That's why I don't show the picture. If we get anything that's related to that, 11. That's interesting. It's spelled out 11. That's very interesting. There's got to be a tie there. There has to be. I don't think I've ever seen that number show up spelled out that way. But anyway, if we do get anything, I do put a word of caution on the link before you guys open it. Just because, again, there's that's the
I
thing.
guess so much fun.
I don't want females touching it. I'm giving you at least a warning, so if you do it, it's on you at that point. So, if you guys get headaches and start throwing up because you're holding a picture on your phone, then that's on you.
This ain't got nothing to do with it. I'll tell the story. She took a photo of her mom in an apartment complex in North Charleston, and you could see her face in the photo. It was like a man.
You still have the photo?
I wish I did. I had too many things in my phone and I deleted. But I printed everything out in Walmart. But now I have to go back and like look. I can't find it right now. But I had like multiple because like me and my mom we were drunk on our patio and like she never wears a hat, so she was wearing one. She was going like this. I was like click 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 click, and then like you can see in each photo it's like a face and it's like as she's moving, kind of like it's moving too.
It's a clear face in the photo. It's on an iPhone, so you can't see it like nobody got it. It's
So what happens is people send me stuff all the time. My wife does all the photography work for me. So if I actually capture something out of the pictures they're taking and I can't make heads or tails of it, it goes to her. And then if somebody, one of my guests says, hey, I took these at the jail, can you figure this out? Like we just debunked one for a customer last week. So it was, they thought he had a face in there, but the proportions weren't correct. So it was kind of like all weird and distorted and things were large. And I was like, there's no way. So she started diving into it further, you know, what she does, because that's what she went to school for. It was a reflection of a building. So there was like the other window panes were coming through on that window pane. So it was kind of like, okay, that one's debunked. I hated to disappoint that kid.
Well, if we go home and look for the photo and find it, because she said she printed them out.
Yeah, you guys will have my contact info before we leave.
I mean, like I say, it's in a couple different photos, and it's a clear, like just a clear figure, like all you see is the face, like no body or nothing. You can see like eyes, a nose, hair.
So how long have you been in Charleston?
Almost 5 years now.
Okay. So back when Hurricane Hugo hit.
Long before my time.
Yeah. Well, you're all into ghosts and legends, the Gray Man. There were people that said they saw the Gray Man on the beach. Because Hugo was not supposed to come here.
Right.
Hugo was supposed to bypass us. And it stopped off the coast. And they still thought it was going past us. But it sat for like 24 hours. And people saw the Gray Man. They reported it, saw on the beach. And then the storm came straight into Charleston. Yeah.
So with Hugo, I did an investigation in Little River. I was doing the Brentwood restaurant up there, and there was a lot of things that were tied to Hugo up there. And then I didn't even have tools. I was working with just a psychic, and that was it. That's all I had, just me and him. And that's how I kind of got into this, you know, years ago. But I was living in Myrtle Beach at the time, so the Gray Man was.
Saw you had a thing about Alice Flagg because we've been to the grave.
Which one? Which grave?
It was in Georgetown?
Yeah,
No,
Polly's
Polly's
Island.
Wrong one.
Oh, really?
She's
But
not
listen, check it out. We went to go see his grave. They got the little building right there, little church right there. There was nothing on the freaking porch.
Just chairs. There's like rocking
Chairs,
chairs.
that's it.
And it's like
On
a
the way
beige or
back
brown
out.
color.
There was a pet rock.
Nobody had pulled up and stopped either. But there was this like painted bright blue green colored rock that we would have seen when we walked by the first time. Yeah. Then he picks it up and brings it home. I'm like, no, don't take it in the car. But
Oh yeah, I thought they were.
So, Alice was actually buried at Old Glen Church. And that's in the Murrells Inlet Polyviolin area. And it's off of Beaten Dirt Road. And it burned down. But I have the proof to show where her tombstone really is. It's not facing the street, it's facing the woods. They've moved her there because of all of the hype and the rumors about what actually happened to her.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's not buried at All Saints.
No, and that's where we went.
Let's go across the street and talk about pirates.
Watch that.
Look at it.
It would be really funny if I made somebody come out here every night, hide in his ivy, and then grab me as a clip and tell the story. How hysterical would that be? That would be funny as hell.
Now I'm looking at it.
There's a wall in there. So this is the other side of the cemetery. So there's two sides. Do you guys know why? That side's for natives, everybody else. That's why Calhoun's over here. Yeah, they didn't know where he was supposed to go, so they moved his hearse off him several times across the street trying to figure out if he was actually from here. Turned out he's not. So he's buried on this side. And you can actually walk the cemetery during the daytime. So it's not very large. But it's an interesting one. That side's usually being worked on. So let's talk about the powder magazine. How much do you guys know about the powder magazine?
I know that it blew up.
It did not blow up.
No.
It's still standing. That's still powder magazine. You're thinking of the other one closer to the battery.
Powder magazine? I don't want to. Well, I wouldn't want to say it blew up to kill somebody else.
This one has never been found. So we actually had two of them. This is actually the oldest government building on the East Coast. So it was finished in 1713. Remember I told you guys about the Charlestown walls from here in Lodge Island? This road, this is Cumberland Street. This is where the wall came up. It went up about half a block past the powder magazine instead of going south towards the battery. So the gun powder magazine was really right in the corner of those walls. Because if it were to get attacked from the water, it's 3 blocks away. So that's a long way to go. So if the cannonball tries to go through it, it's 32 inches thick on the walls. It's pretty big. So let's say it goes all the way through. There's sand in the roof from 1712. And if the gunpowder blows up, it'll blow the sand in the air. And it's supposed to drop and put out the fires. It doesn't work. The one you're talking about, like the battery, the sand fell, but couldn't put out the fires. So that one did blow up. I don't know how many people it killed, but that was just a mentality of what this is supposed to be doing. Also, you guys should know that those crosses you guys see, those are the first earthquake bolts that were installed in Charleston. So, the story I tell about Anne Bonny is because of this building. It took a whole decade to make this building, from 1703 to 1713. 1708 is where the story begins. Anne Cormack moves here from Ireland. Follow me, this is kind of twisted. She moves here with her dad, his mistress, who happens to be her mom, and they're trying to get away from his wife. You guys with me on that one? How mad was that woman? They moved halfway across the world in 1708, and there were no planes, so they moved by boat. So they get here, she sees the building being finished. Obviously, it's very familiar to her because it's still standing. This is why we come here. Pirates start moving through town. She's now a teenager, 1714, 1715. She falls in love with one of these pirates. His name is James Bond. Dad doesn't approve because he's a filthy pirate. So what do? They meet to Jamaica. She gets married. Anne Cormack is now Anne Bonny, the most famous female pirate in Golden Age pirates. So she gets down there, but she realizes that this guy's not what she wanted. She wanted the kick-ass Captain Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp kind of guy, and this is not him. This guy is a privateer. It means he's a spy for the British. So this is a coward in her eyes. So she falls in love again. This guy's name is John Rackham, aka Calico Jack. Jack is much younger. He is that kick-ass Captain Jack Sparrow type, but he has his own ship as well. So she wants to become part of them. But let's face it, females curse pirate ships. So he says, you gotta dress like a guy in order to become part of my crew. So she's okay with this because Dad used to hide her as a boy apprentice at his attorneyship back in Ireland to keep the girl away from the mother, or the wife rather. So she's okay with this cross-dressing. So being a female in his quarters, she obviously gets pregnant sooner or later. Can't have a pregnant dude on the crew, so what's he do? He drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby, come back, we'll figure it out. So she comes back, there's no baby. She's also dressed like a human being. She doesn't give a damn anymore about hiding her back. Makes Jack pretty mad. So she starts flirting with the pirate crew that he just captured down below deck. The guy that she's flirting with turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy, part of the pirate crew, and Calico Jack was captured. Told you there's a lot of twists in this. So, with that said, these two become friends. That young lady's name was Mary Reed. So Aunt Bonnie and Mary Reed. So they become part of the crew. Well, she convinces Mary to become part of the crew. The British fleet finds out where they are and they roll in on the ship. Obviously, it's two women taking on the entire ship because the men are down below deck either guarding the other pirates that they just captured or they're too drunk to come up. So obviously the British fleet takes the whole ship and Bonnie goes over to Calico Jack as he's being handcuffed and taken away. He should have fought like a man instead of going down like a dog. So the word dog shows up here quite often on our spirit boxes. So the judge wants to see Anne and Mary separately because they were the only two men that fought back. He doesn't know that they're female. So the other pirates are already tried and hung, they're dead already. So they go in front of the judge, and his name is Nicholas Laws. So if you hear the name Nick or my name pops up, it's not me, it's the Chief Justice. They reveal their gender, he doesn't care. They're still pirates, I don't care. We're still going to hang you. We plead our bellies, which basically means they were both claiming to be pregnant. Fine, we will delay your hanging, send them both back to jail. Dad is still here in Charleston, he's able to bail out Anne Bonnie and bring her back home. What we know from there is that she got remarried again, that's guy number 4, had 4 children, and died at the age of 84. Lots of 4s in that. Mary Reed died a year later from wherever pirates died from in Jamaican jail. It was probably gross and bumpy and greasy and not very pleasant at all. So I must be on point.
Yeah.
So we are going to get closer to this building. We're going to spend about 10 minutes here with the devices. Hopefully we get something. Your EMF is usually a dead zone here. If you get something, it's exciting because we don't normally get stuff. Same thing with your big red numbers. We can turn up the REM pod here once we get closer to the building and see what happens. We can definitely get some laser lights going if you guys want to take pictures and just kind of keep an eye on your K2 so the pictures with the laser should keep you busy. And definitely spirit boxes are in
I have
full
one
motion.
question. The name Hannah, does that have anything to do with
Could be one of the children, but we don't know.
Okay, because Hannah did pop up like when we first came over.
Interesting.
While you I didn't
And that's not
interrupt
related to
you.
any other story that I have on this corner either. There's more. There was a lot more. I could be here all night telling all the stories from this corner. But Hannah's, don't see anything else. Let me take a look at the list.
They were just popped up.
Oh. Okay. So this is upgraded. Just so you know.
I think my dog
There's a free version, has about 1,200 words in it. This one has 9,000. So there's a lot more in this one. And there's no ads. I like pencil. But I'm gonna look into 11.
Yeah.
See what we get. Alright, start asking. And I don't have, the only thing I didn't tell you, because this is kind of like a level 3 where you guys get to ask whatever you want to. But the only 2 facts I didn't give you that I know are Anne Bonnie's mother's name and the name of Calico Jack's ship.
Okay.
So those are the only 2 questions. He's got the red spirit box, right? Yeah. Okay. How are we doing on your camera? Still running?
Oh yeah. I mean, sometimes I accidentally hit it, but I just go back and mash it. I don't mean to.
No. How many do you think we're gonna have?
Maybe 4.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. I rush home so I can hurry up and upload them, and I just upload everything for that day.
Okay.
And it numbers them for me, so I just have to splice them together. It just takes like
Okay.
an extra 30 to 40 minutes or so.
Sorry about
No,
that.
you're fine. It's part of the job, man. It's what happens. Happens on my own investigations too, because it sits in my pocket. So normally with that, I have it like in a cargo pocket, and the camera part is just outside the pocket. So that's what's recording, and nobody knows what the hell I'm actually doing.
What did you
Where'd it go?
Said ship.
I thought I heard it too.
What type of ship?
Why did you disagree with her?
What type of ship were you on? Where did you get married? What bill number?
just kind of fades in and out real quick?
No, I mean like twinkle.
No.
It did over there, man. Over that one lot.
Think you mentioned?
Yeah, it would twinkle. It literally twinkle. Yeah, twinkle.
Yeah, at times like it'll fade in and out because the batteries are
Yeah,
fading,
no,
or if
it
you hold it
wasn't
on for
baby.
too
This
long.
was actually twinkle.
Yeah, I think after like 5 minutes it starts to like really drain the batteries. But you can see how good those earth
Twinkle.
holes are.
Even big.
Well, if I do, it all turns red.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
'cause he's,
See,
his
look-
direction was he's
look at
gotta
this,
try
look
to
at
keep
this.
somebody
See,
in
look.
view.
See, normally, if you look at the wall, it's heat. You know, it is warm out here, okay? But y'all are the hottest things out here, so that's why I gotta keep it on y'all. And if I see any black thing moving,
And I do get a lot of glitches from the camera in this lot too.
I've had that too.
I meant like
It
other
keeps like,
devices will
it,
stop.
well, it seems like on this, it seems to stop a little
It just
bit.
means it's calibrating.
Okay.
What I mean by glitches is that, for example, that red spirit box, one night I just had a group of two. So that was the person pulling the camera was filming me and the person with the red spirit box. There was a white film that came over them, just on them, and then the red spirit box quit. And shit like that happens all the time. Some people get mad because like the thing they mentioned is like the one like 3 devices quit working, like battery drain gone. And there was nothing I could do. I don't carry like battery packs like with me. I carry regular batteries, but those were all 3 rechargeable devices. So I don't take those devices off the chargers till I leave the house to come here. So it's a matter of like what the hell happened. And the customer got mad at me because she said my devices weren't working. I'm like, how did you not look at this as a paranormal incident? This doesn't happen. You can look at any other investigation. So if something drains 3 devices, that's not my fault. People do get angry. Interesting.
Oh, just the church.
They
Church.
built shit. They built old.
It looks really old.
1810. I thought it was around 1810, something like that.
Look that one up real quick. By the way, in case you didn't know this, the big earthquake we had, and I mentioned earthquake several times, but that steeple is actually off. It leans just so to the left.
If you look at it, you can't tell, but yeah, I
Yeah.
heard about that.
Hey, y'all got like a couple bucks,
Yeah.
like
I got no
dollars,
cash.
like dollars. I think it's a drink machine over there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
go
got
grab
a
me
dollar.
something to drink. It's more than $1, you know that.
Yeah, but I ain't got. I
I don't have any cash.
Like change.
I have
He got some.
I gotta
It's
get
always like almost $2 for something, even water.
Yeah.
I think that's a drink machine over there.
I don't know how much we
I don't know, when y'all messing with that stuff earlier, I was feeling lightheaded.
You're supposed to tell me that stuff.
So,
And then know if it says condition or
25, 35, 45, 50.
yeah, that's it.
Hold this for me.
Yeah, I got you.
6.
I got you.
I don't know.
36.
It's gotta be a square.
Gotta be a square.
Oh, but that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yep, that's it.
You have to put it toward us.
No,
Put the K2 in your. You got too many devices.
I'm pulling the bike to the dog.
There you go. That's why the camera, they don't get anything else. Let me go see what they got going on. If they got some stuff, awesome. We'll hang out for a few more minutes. If it's kind of light, then we'll wrap this party up.
So you can't see anything that way. You have to point
Oh,
it toward the
bullshit.
person.
Yeah.
That's how you see it. It's pretty cool. It's gonna be even cooler when we get back this stuff tomorrow. I'm gonna be texting it to everybody. Everybody gonna be at work on their phone.
Stay where you are.
I guess he didn't have enough money. How short were you?
Barely anything.
Huh? Oh, that's why I said, how short were you?
Damn, they fucking expensive.
All right, so
And don't take debit card?
You need cash?
Yeah.
How much more do
He
you need?
needs.
All I got is a quarter. I doubt that thing takes
I got a couple
bombs
of
and a nickel.
Yeah.
That thing's old as
Yeah,
hell.
I have a $10 bill.
He's got one.
If it'll work. It's all bent up. It should work. Aggravating. That is cool. Thank you. I'll be right back.
January? Is that anything?
it might be Mary Reed's death, possibly.
Might be talking about your birthday.
Hope not.
It's either no, Anne Blind. She died in July.
I asked, what did you do? And the word ship come through here.
Oh, wow.
It records on us, so you can hear the questions we ask and stuff like
No,
that.
it
No.
will only record the radio stations.
All right. We got a timestamp on it.
Yep.
Word ship. What time is it right now? Probably said it 10, 15 minutes.
Well, it goes based off of the length of the recording
Oh.
of the actual. So I kind of like always keep it